Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you are having a fantastic day. So yesterday, I did a video giving some props to Chiney Ogwumike. Ogwumike, that's what I'm going with. Shannon Sharp called her Chiney, so that's what I'm going with. And someone in the comments mentioned about the fact that because this completely slipped my mind. So much has gone on this WNBA season with Caitlin Clark that she was one of the people who actually pushed back pretty hard on Stephen A. Smith when Stephen A. Smith came out and said that Caitlin Clark should have been on the Olympic team at the very least for marketing reasons and to grow the game. Now, I disagree with Stephen. Not that that isn't a important side benefit, but I think she earned being on the team as a player. So they suggested I go check out and find, her talking about Caitlin Clark with Shannon Sharp last month, and it was pretty interesting. So even though this was back in June, I wanted to go over it now, especially considering what Janae just said about Caitlin Clark. It's really interesting to go back and look at this as well. So let's dig into some of the comments, some of the things she had to say. I believe this was right about the time of the Olympic announcement.
What's going on in this situation?
Sure. I think the hardest thing is that oftentimes when we're in a debate format, people are more concerned with entertainment than the truth. And the truth is that I have a lot of lived experience into why she probably was not selected.
Okay, couple things. I'm gonna stop right there. One, it's interesting that someone at ESPN, which with the way ESPN has been behaved recently. By the way, real quick, please like, comment, and subscribe. I have noticed, and other people have said they get the same type of thing happening at times, since I've done a few videos about things being said from ESPN, that these videos are not getting out there nearly like they were before. I had some people I know who, the same thing happened with the big mouse company when there were a lot of people giving bad reviews to one of their recent streaming shows. And all of a sudden, those videos weren't getting shown to their subscribers. So please, if you are watching this, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, I just find it funny that she talked about entertainment over truth when you look at how hard ESPN has pushed this Angel Reese narrative for Rookie of the Year, which anybody who knows anything about basketball can see with their eyes that there is no Rookie of the Year race, and it most certainly is not Angel Reese. So it's a little disingenuous for Janae to start talking about truth. And then also lived experience. That's like a huge red flag for me. When you start giving me this lived experience nonsense, I kind of want to tune you out. But we're going to give her a shot. We're going to let her keep going.
And I said it before, it's largely based off of experience. I don't know if people realize that earlier this year, Team USA almost lost to Belgium. It took a buzzer beater by Breanna Stewart to win. The rest of the world is coming. I don't know if you followed the US women's national team. You saw what happened with the men. I know we didn't send our best squad over there, but over the last summer, you saw the international competition.
Okay. So she gets into that for a while and just talks about the growth of the world game. So I'm going to skip to a next part where she gets back to more specifically what we are talking about. However, I do want to mention that first part that she said when she said about experience. What about truth, Janae? You just told me how important truth is. What about players like, I don't know, Diana Taurasi? She made the Olympic team as a rookie, and I believe there were others. I believe Breanna Stewart also made the team as a rookie. Correct me if I'm wrong below, but I think Asia Wilson also made the team as a rookie. Didn't Shmikwe Holtzclaw also make the team as a rookie? So I'm not exactly sure what experience you're talking about. In addition, when you're talking about something like this, if it's always going to be experience, eventually you will have no one who has experience. And then what? You just don't have a team? Come on now, truth. You just said you were going to give me truth, and you are not giving me truth. All right, let's move on. See what else you got to say.
Really putting their work into growing the global game. But at the end of the day, that helps everyone rise. And I think people haven't realized the level of competition is so fierce that you don't want to take a chance of, at this iteration, potentially maybe having a player that has no familiarity with the roster, no experience at that high level. I think the youngest player on the roster is probably Sabrina Ionescu, who's a first-time Olympian, but we've seen what she's done in the league.
Okay, before we get a little further, because again, we're talking about the experience and the competition level. Are you telling me that a team that is what, 55-0, 7 straight gold medals with players, I think, like 10, 11, 12 on the last roster that averaged like barely any minutes at all? Are you going to tell me that putting Caitlin Clark on the team, that Caitlin Clark is so bad that she would keep them from winning a gold medal? Is that what we're saying? And I believe you said something about playing together. Didn't you say something about playing together?
And I think people haven't realized the level of competition is so fierce that you don't want to take a chance of, at this iteration, potentially maybe having a player that has no familiarity with the roster.
Yes, no familiarity with the roster. Very, very interesting. Um, didn't a WNBA All-Star team that had what, 2 practices, if that? I mean, you could say they were 2 practices, but they weren't really full-on practices because you had so much else going on in the game. But let's just even say 2 practices. A WNBA All-Star team had 2 practices. These were players not familiar with each other, and they went out and smoked, absolutely torched and embarrassed this old, slow, ridiculously bad Olympic basketball team. So none of your excuses make sense. There is no truth in the words you are telling me. You got anything else? How else can you spin this? Let's go.
No experience at that high level. I think the youngest player on the roster is probably Sabrina Ionescu, who's a first-time Olympian, but we've seen what she's done in the league. The previous Olympians, they've all had at least 9 players have had Olympic experience. So like, if you look at what they constructed, they know that the world is coming. And then I think at the end of the day, like, we're people that are all fans, right? Like, the reason why we have the jobs we have is because we love sports. We love it at the highest level.
I don't think that's why you have your job. Sorry to say, I don't think that's why you have it. Just everything you're telling me right now screams that that's not why you have it.
We appreciate the moment that the women's game is at. We want that moment to carry over, but it can't come at the expense of what the Olympic mission is, and it's to medal. And I think that's the one thing people are sort of missing in all of this. The goals of Team USA by criteria is to assemble the best team, a team where your players.
The best team. Well, they didn't do that, did they? They didn't assemble the best team because they just got smoked by the WNBA All-Star game team who had a couple of practices. So don't sit there and lie to me and gaslight me and say that Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team would prevent them from winning a gold medal. You are embarrassing yourself. This is embarrassing.
Are set up for success. And I think based off of the popularity of Caitlin Clark, people think that that shouldn't matter. But that is the.
No, absolutely 100% no. That is a lie. You are lying. No one is saying winning a gold medal shouldn't matter. They're saying Caitlin Clark is good enough to be on that team. She should be on that team, and they will win a gold medal with her on that team. Oh, look at that pause by me. I did that right well. Tell me that is not crazy eyes. Are you not getting crazy eyes from that? 100% crazy eyes right there. That is scary.
Central mission. And I don't know if this is like, this certain circumstance is setting Caitlin up for success. Her not playing with the team, her not having experience out there as much as the other women.
Okay, again, WNBA All-Star team, players that hadn't played together got thrown together for a practice or two, and they smoked this super awesome, super competitive, super experienced team that you were talking about, got smoked, embarrassed, torched. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't think that you do. Okay, we're going to move on a bit because this is kind of funny. This is a short bit. This was in the same show, but I just want to play this because basically, anyway, I want to play this. I'm sure this Ocho is a WNBA expert.
Like she said, they created a monster. This is something you want to strive for, and being able to represent your country at some point, if it's not right now, later on down the road. Obviously, again, the resume of the ladies that are part of Team USA are those that have chemistry together, they play well together, and they have an extensive resume of work, a body of work that they put in.
Okay, see, again, nonsense and excuses, nonsense and excuses, nonsense and excuses. What chemistry? Seriously, what chemistry? In case you missed it, I will say it again. They got torched by a WNBA All-Star team that was not familiar with each other, that didn't have chemistry. Well, they did because they had Caitlin Clark running the show on the court, but they didn't have it going in because they hadn't played together. They had no extensive resume and international experience, and yet they torched this so-called juggernaut of an Olympic basketball team. It is absolutely fascinating that these people can be, I don't know, this dumb, just bad people that are flat out lying to your face. I'm not sure. Now, this is one more little bit from Chiney here to close this out that we got to go after. But yeah, let's see what she has to say here.
Can I ask you, do you believe that the 12 best women are on this
Absolutely.
team?
I do.
Absolutely. Everyone catch that? These are the 12 best women. They somehow managed to, again, get torched by the WNBA All-Star team, get embarrassed, get run off the court, look old, slow, and unskilled. But they are the best 12 that we could send. She absolutely believes that. So remember that. Chelsea Gray, by the way, at this time when this roster was put together, this conversation is happening. Chelsea Gray had not yet played a game of basketball since October of the previous year because of a torn Achilles. Brittany Griner is a terrible basketball player at this point in her career. Everything is about being 6'9". Okay? Diana Taurasi, washed up, done. I did a video about her 14 minutes the other game against Belgium with the stats of 0 points, 0 assists, 0 rebounds, 0 steals, 0, zeros, my friend, except for the turnover. She managed to do that. But absolutely, Chiney said absolutely 12 best.
Now, there are some areas that I am concerned about.
Of course. But anyway, one more thing. Now, I don't know if I'll try and play a bit of this because it's just kind of funny. It's Stephen A. going into his thing about Caitlin Clark being on the team for marketing purposes, and he's going after what, as you can see on here, is Janae and Andrea Carter. And the funny thing is, it doesn't really matter what Stephen's saying because he takes a long time to build up before he gets into it. But I want you to watch the reactions of the two women in the middle. That's the fun part about this.
It's not that you're wrong. It's that we don't care. Everything y'all said does not.
Look at those faces, my friends. The entitlement, they are not used to getting talked to like this because they have had everything handed to them. They are on this show for very specific reasons.
Not matter for this particular instance. We don't want to hear anything about team.
Did you all see that? Did you see that? Let's go back a little bit. Watch Chiney. I don't know.
Does not matter for this particular instance. We don't want to hear anything about Team U.
Wow. So that's I just want to show you that because that's the whole thing. Steven keeps digging in, and that's what you're getting. Andrea's being a statue. You can see she's not happy. Shanae's not professional enough to handle this at all. She's getting all up in her feels. Shannon, I got to tell you, I don't know where Shannon stands because again, though, he's being professional. He's just like, man, I don't know. I can't tell if he's digging this or not. He looks a little uncomfortable, but I think that's just his. I want to be professional and stone faced and see where we go with this. But I'm gonna leave it there. So now that we got a reminder of where Chiney stands with all of this, I find it very interesting what you think about her comments then, just in a vacuum, her comments then when the team came out and what she said and the excuses she gave. And then also those comments versus what she said, yesterday or the other day that I just did a video on yesterday, where she also did leave there's some things that weren't. She wasn't flat out like, oh, Caitlin. She kind of checked herself a little bit, I think, for a reason. But again, going back to Sue Bird, it seems to me like some of them want to take this opportunity to rewrite history a little bit because they've seen it's gotten so ridiculous and so obvious to people what Caitlin Clark has done in the WNBA already, the generational talent that she is, how good she is at everything, every aspect of the game, how she makes teammates better compared to a player who's a statue under the basket who grabs some rebounds. And they're starting to realize that it's just so overwhelmingly obvious to everyone that in order to try and grab back just a tiny bit of credibility and hopefully maybe keep careers, they got to start walking it back a little bit and hope you forget things like this. So let me know in the comments below what you think about all of this. I think it's pretty funny. I got to say it's entertaining for me. Um, I gotta say I enjoy when I get in that mode. I just realized I did it where I'm like not even reacting or commenting to what she said and giving analysis. I'm like talking to her. Uh, but I think I did that for Gino too. Gino got me pretty worked up. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff. I really do appreciate it. It helps out a ton. And I will talk to you later.